Another of Georgia's elected power players is a woman who wears robes of black for most of the day. She's been a judge nearly 25 years, and her list of firsts boggles the mind. On a Sunday morning, Thelma Wyatt Cummings Moore is in church, meeting and greeting, and singing praises in a pew.
All rise.
But during the week, she takes center stage.
Mr. Davis was addicted to crack cocaine.
Judge Moore weighs the case of a man accused of selling a small amount of crack cocaine to a plainclothes officer. The defendant has been waiting in jail for a year and claims he's drug-free.
And that is the question, whether he would remain drug-free. And I believe if he has completed drug court and if he has that family support of his sister, that this would be a fair and equitable resolution.
The lady of the court dishes out punishment with a dash of courtesy.
So, Mr. Davis, I will accept your plea. I want you to stay clean. All right. Thank you.
The refined Judge Moore is a pioneer on the bench. She was sworn in as Chief Judge of Fulton County Superior Court in 1998, the first woman to hold that position. She's been a trailblazing woman in the judicial system for more than 25 years. Yet below the regal robes, there's a clue to her personality: the defining red shoes. You've never, quote, fit the picture of a judge. You know, the frumpy collar up to here.
Well, I may have a lace collar or two to go over my robe, but I never liked the bow ties, believe me. So I just decided to be myself.
Inside her chambers, the walls are filled with prestigious awards, mementos, and pictures from a past that was far from easy. A mother who died when she was 5, a father who died when she was 11.
The main thing I remember about my parents is the faith they had and their pride. They were such proud people because I grew up in the segregated South.
Your father would not allow you all to go to movies.
That's right. We couldn't go anywhere where there was any segregated practice.
In Texas, the Klan burned her family's house down, and a few years later, a cross was set ablaze in their yard when her father dared to run for president of the school board.
I still remember that. As you can see, I'm getting choked up right now because I can see that cross burning in the front yard, and I can see the image of the grass being scorched underneath. And my brother and I had to be taken to school, escorted to school by bodyguards.
After her parents' deaths, she was raised by a favorite aunt and learned the value of education.
I always heard from all of my family, get that education, honey. They can't take that away from you.
She entered Emory University's law school in the first class with African-American women.
We were pretty much shunned, mainly white male students. They ignored me. And some of them even told me, why don't you go home, get married, and have babies and leave this slot for a man who's really going to use his law degree? And I'm just saying to them, hello. But the fact is, I endured that for the first semester. And then when the grades came out, all of them wanted me to be in their study group.
She graduated with honors and later became the first African-American to teach on Emory's law faculty. Rising through the court system, she often faced tough decisions and controversial cases. She staged mock trials for students, many at risk, to teach them about the court system. But one of her most noted achievements was developing a way for families to have their cases heard in Fulton County by one judge rather than several, lessening delays and confusion.
So the family court was born. They call me the birth mother. But there were a lot of midwives.
Would you consider that your biggest accomplishment?
I would think that is one of them. Of course, I think my greatest accomplishment is my own children.
I'm going to tell you guys something that you may not want to hear.
What's that?
But I just want you to
tell
know.
us.
She raised daughter Ayana and son Kari as a single parent after a divorce. Is it possible for a woman of power to have children and raise them so that they're normal and do well? And if so, how do you do it?
Well, you know very well. But in my experience, it's been one of those extraordinary things where you look back and say, how did I do that? Because you are moving day and night, as any working parent is.
I've never,
ever seen you give up or give in?
I guess my philosophy of life is to live life with a passion. And that's what I try to do in everything, is to attack it with passion.